Super chat here says, we're not in PCR because of Havertz. Also, anyone knows we cannot sign unless we sell this window. It's not Mikel Arteta. Discussions, 20. Now, what I would say to that is this. Havertz is not the reason you're struggling. You lost 127 million nearly 3 years ago. Now that comes off in May, according to Kieran Maguire, the country's leading football financial expert. You remove that, you still are looking at your accounts, and no one quite knows the full extent of them. But spending £65 million on a player that hasn't improved you is contributing towards you being close to that figure. No one's saying it's just Kai Havertz. Secondly, the report doesn't say you're not signing anyone. The report says you're trying to sign a versatile defender. So how much is that going to cost? 25 million plus his salary? That's probably going to be more expensive than Benzema for 6 months.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's why I'm challenging what you're saying. I really appreciate the super chat. It means a great deal to us. I respect it. But you're oversimplifying this situation. If the report was Arsenal can't do it because they literally have no money for anybody, fair enough, that's the report. But they're not saying they have no money. They're saying they don't have. They're saying they're going to spend it on a defender.
One thing he is right about is the last part, by the way. The Kroenkes, common denominator for 20 years. That's facts, mate. And I tell you what, one thing on the Kroenkes as well, just quickly. If we do underachieve this season and they don't sack him, then I'm coming for them, and Arteta can do what he wants. I'm coming for them because they show me zero ambition to win trophies and zero accountability for when we don't win trophies. So that's all I'll say.
Can I just challenge on that? Play devil's advocate. Have they shown zero ambition? Because they've given the guy money and they've spent it wrong.
Yeah.
Would it not be better to say they've shown ambition? They've just they put the trust in the wrong people.
Exactly. So they're the issue then, aren't they? They've given lots of money to the wrong people. So there's got to be accountability.
Yeah, but they've not lacked ambition, have they? They spent £100 million on Rice. They spent 40 million on Timber. They spent 65 on Havertz. So lacking ambition is probably unfair.
Yeah, so they're not lacked ambition to try and get us to the top, but they will lack the ambition if they do nothing about giving people that money and doing nothing about it when they don't take you to the top. That's my question mark.
So if they sack Arteta, will you actually kind of low key respect them?
100%, because there's accountability. There's accountability for the reason. Look, I've given you all this money. We are now total ownership. Before we were majority shareholders, yeah? So you don't refurbish your whole house, do you, if you don't own it? You just clean the windows, yeah? So now you are total ownership of Arsenal, yeah? You are total ownership of Arsenal and you want to go refurb it. This is my plan. 4 years' time, 5 years' time, this is what I want to be seeing. Arsenal don't win a trophy, whether it be this season, and there's got to be context to it, which I've said before. You have to go to look at why they have not done that. And for me, spending this amount of money and looking at the ambition, say we get top 4 and we do lose to Porto, we're out of everything. If he doesn't get sacked and Edu can walk with him, then it's on the Kroenkes because they're going, don't matter, give it another go. We'll give you another 200 million. Try and get Champions League football, we're all good. Give it another go. Nah, man. This is Arsenal, mate, not Wigan.
I want to throw something out to you two. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. I want to see if you
I've just got to answer this very quickly. Sorry, mate. Just give me 2 seconds.
No worries. I have to repeat with it. So, have you heard a lot of people? Well, you know this question because I said it last night, didn't I, on the Top 6 show, which is a lot of people say buy a striker and Arsenal can surpass City this season. Mm-hmm. So that's where when you say Arsenal haven't shown ambition, again, I think that's a little too harsh because I think they've built a very good squad that has some holes in it. Does that make sense? As opposed to a poor one. I think they are a player or two away from it completely working. So that's why I think it isn't about them showing ambition. I think it's more about if it doesn't work this year after what they've invested, I think they have to look beyond Arteta and maybe somebody else to come in and support Edu to make sure that next time the purchasing of players is even better. Because again, in the summer, if they'd have bought an elite striker and not Kai Havertz, or if they'd have bought Zubimendi in with Declan Rice instead of Kai Havertz, I think they'd have a better team right now. Mm-hmm. So I think that this is where I've said all year, I think Arsenal are in a win-win. There are things to criticize them on. I think if they sign Anderson from Crystal Palace instead of Benzema, I think that's a mistake that should be criticized. But I think overall they've improved to a point where they're competing. And the question I went to ask, Dan, is a lot of Arsenal fans state that you're like a really good striker away from winning the league. Would you say that's a fair summary of what people say?
We'll get him a lot closer to the Premier League with a Benzema for sure, in my opinion, or a centre forward like that.
Yeah.
I still have I think I said last show, I still have my queries, but definitely closer, 100%.
Yeah, and my view is to the people that say a striker and we win it. If you're one player away from being better than one of the best teams in English football history in Man City, you can't be in that bad a place from a footballing standpoint. So I think that what Arsenal fans need to be not careful of, because rants don't always do anything. A lot of Man United fans ranted about the Glazers and they're still here. But I don't think you guys need to throw baby out with the bathwater if you don't win this season. I think it's maybe the manager goes, 1 or 2 new players in, 1 or 2 players out, somebody to potentially support Edu in terms of recruitment. Chap from Bayern Munich just left as an example. And I still think you guys are going to compete. That's why I felt all year it's win-win for you guys. You're either going to win with what Arteta's built, or you move a few people out and a few new people in and you go on to challenge again. I still think overall you're in a really good position. And yes, you need better than your Reece Nelsons and better than your Eddie Nketiahs. But it's only a handful of players additional you now need to be, in my opinion, on almost on par with anyone in the world.
This for me, is why this Benzema makes perfect sense for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Right? Because let's be honest, the striker that Arsenal are going to have to sign, in the summer is probably going to be an Ivan Toney. Yeah, that's going to be 80 million plus minimum. Or Osimhen, 130 million, something like that. It's going to be a lot of money, right? It's almost like try before you buy. Yeah, you get Benzema in on a small loan fee or whatever the loan fee is. You get him in for 6 months. Yeah, one of the greatest strikers we've seen in the last 20 years. Yeah, unbelievable baller. If he does well, but Arsenal is still well off the pace, then maybe you actually look at it and say, well, we do need a striker, but there's actually serious issues around the pitch.
Great shout.
If you don't get Benzema, then you go and get an Ivan Toney, and then you go, right, you know what I mean, maybe get one more player, then you go again, and then realise that actually this left-back position is a major, issue. And actually, maybe the striker thing wasn't as bad as people made out. Maybe it was just a couple of games in a short period of time, and we all overreacted. This, for me, I just think this Benzema makes so much sense.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on with the Benzema thing, and I've made myself clear about that. I can't believe if that is true that we're just saying no to that. That's just absolutely mad for me, right? But there's a couple of things here, right, that you said, so, and I think we will find out this season whether we've got a Brendan Rodgers on our hands and we'll need to wait for an equivalent of a Klopp to come and do what they've done at Liverpool, or if this guy can get us across the line. Because at the moment, this guy's not been able to get us across the line. He's put us into a Champions League. He's put us into a title race. He won us a trophy with the side that was apparently toxic, that needed to be breaking up. So he's done some good things at Arsenal, right? But we will find out this season whether he's that. And if you actually do move away from Mikel Arteta, like you've rightly just said, somebody else will come in and go, bloody hell, there's some good players at this football club, and they're all at a good age as well. So you're right, we could 100% go and equivalent. Now, obviously, you've got to get the right recruitment into the right manager for that to happen, right? You can't just go and get some unknown again, in my opinion. You've got to go and say, right, we need a win now manager because we want to win now. And the other thing I'll say, the fan base are an absolute joke, some of them. I mean, like, have you heard next summer we might be getting Osimhen and Zubimendi might be coming in? I don't care about the summer. Yeah, I do not give a shit about the summer right now. There's a season that we are playing right now. It is January. Let's look at what we can do now. Let's not look about Evan Ferguson might come to Arsenal and be brilliant in 5 years' time. I want to talk about now. I want to talk about what winning now. I've waited for 20 years and 30 years for European glory.
I get that, but say... Let me play devil's advocate here. Let's just say Zubimendi and Osimhen are 2 of the best players in their position available in the world for Arsenal. But say you can't get them until the summer. And if you buy now, say you have got the money, just paint the hypothetical, you've got 150 million that you can spend. Maybe they're going to cost more than that, 180 million that you can spend. Would you rather wait to the summer and get Zubimendi and Osimhen, or buy 2 players that are not of that level now?
I would rather go and get two players now that can help us for this season, and then go and do what's needed in the summer. Because if you go and get 2 players that aren't at the Zubimendi and Osimhen level now that can help Arsenal this season, you can still go and buy an Osimhen and Zubimendi in the summer. They're not going to be like, oh, they're not coming there now. Look, like
you won't have the money though. If you spend that money now, say
we haven't got the money though. We haven't got the money though, have we? We don't have the money apparently.
Okay, but this is we're painting the hypothetical, aren't we? We're painting the hypothetical. You might not have them. Also, the reality is you might not have the money until the summer because you've got to wait until after May for your COVID year finances to drop off, so you don't break profit and sustainability rules. And if you don't have the money until the summer, like what more can you do in your opinion?
Well, listen, I don't know the situation with the money. Apparently, no one's got any money to spend, so it's dead, right? So it is going to be summer. Wait till the summer now, right? But what I will say to you is this: if we could bring in, I don't know names, just give me any names you want, a striker and a midfielder, let's say, right? And that goes and wins Arsenal a Champions League or a Premier League. I don't give a fuck about the summer. I just won a trophy, yeah. Or do you sit there and go, well, we ain't going to really do anything this window. We have to wait till the summer. We ain't going to win anything again. So we'll just wait till the summer and hopefully Osimhen and Zubimendi will get us closer. We're always waiting of the next thing. It's always the next time. When are we going to actually look at Arsenal right now and try and win something? When is that? And when is it acceptable to say Arsenal will win the league this year? Arsenal are going to win the league this year. And there's a lot of people that will go, yeah, not ready still part of the process. Only in phase 4. Come on, calm down. We've got another phase yet. I'm thinking, what the hell? How long is this bloody process? You know, I had a chat, an argument with Kevin Campbell and Tom Canton on my channel talking about processes and how long it takes. You just keep going. You just keep going. What the hell? When does it end then? So this process is actually a load of nonsense then, because it could have 2028. Is it 2038? When the hell does the process end? For me, the process is completely and utterly done.
Let me ask you a question. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, just for the fun of it. I keep touching something under my desk that's making this thing come on my TV screen, my monitor. I don't know how the hell I'm doing it. I've never done it before. Anyway, I know you're not the biggest Arteta fan. Who could you sign and bring in as a player and bring in as a manager that makes you better than both Liverpool and Man City?
Simeone is a shout.
Somebody that says a CV that says, I win. Listen, you're not going to get better than Pep and Klopp, right? In my opinion, right in the world right now. I think they're two of the best. Carlo Ancelotti would be number 1 for me because it says I win football matches and I win trophies. Diego Simeone, to be fair to him, the last couple of years, he's actually not really done much at Atletico Madrid, but what he's done is kept them competitive. And to be fair, he has won plenty before, right? Particularly when Messi and Ronaldo were both playing the opposite sides against him, and he still won the league while they were both in that league. That was a phenomenal record, right? Done one in Champions League as well. So that's another. Hansi Flick, I think, has got an unbelievable amount of experience, and I think what he's done well, he says it in his CV. I wouldn't take Conte or Mourinho. I know Mel B would disagree with that. I don't like going for old Spurs managers that have got the Spurs lurgy, right?
I thought you said Mel B. I was like, what's it got to do with the Spice Girls?
Mel B.
He said Mel B. I was like, oh.
I don't want Mel B. That's definitely not someone I want, Mel B. But what I'm getting at is I want a winner. I want a CV that says, I win things, and I don't care how long it takes. I don't have to be here for 5 years. If you come in here for 2 years, win me a Champions League and a Premier League, I'm cool. If you want to go, that's fine. It doesn't bother me about keeping a bloody manager for 5 years to try and have 5 years to, at the end of that 5 years, they might win a trophy. Well, do you know what? At the end of that 5 years, they might not. Yeah. So at the end of the 5 years of Mikel Arteta, if we ever got one FA Cup, it's been a failed process, hasn't it? It's not been a successful process.
Well, here's the thing for me, Dan. The process, yeah. People get married to the process.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
People get married to it. The process for me is to take you from a team that wasn't competing to a team that is now competing. Arsenal now competing. It's quite simple. The process is finished now. The process has completed. Yeah, whether it took too long or whatever is irrelevant. The process is now done. Yes. Arsenal are now competing. It's the end. Win or get fired and bring someone else in. But the reason why a lot of Arsenal fans don't want to go for that because they're married to the process. I don't know why.
Neither do I, bro.
What is
and they're married to the manager, bro. They're married to the manager.
It's a comfort blanket. It's a comfort blanket. It's a comfort blanket that if it can be widely accepted that the process is still on, we don't have to, and we can't be held accountable for what our club is or isn't doing. That's all it really. Like I said earlier, some Man United fans, 5-year process from now, you just want a 5-year process so that you can't be criticized. That's literally it. Because remember, as a society, we're getting political now, we have lost our ability to take criticism. We're a bunch of babies this day and age, and I don't understand it. Listen, I don't agree with all the criticism of Arteta. I stand by nearly every video I did last year. And by the way, I know this is true. I did a video the other day saying how brilliant and intimidating I find this Liverpool team. All I got was everyone going, yeah, you're right, or praising Liverpool in the comments. If I say it about Arsenal, the hatred is unbelievable. So I stand by what I've said. A lot of people hate Arsenal, and it skews their opinions massively on them. They hate that they've become a very good team. But at the same time, you're right. This married to the process stuff is crazy to me because your process is done. Arteta and Edu are now going to be judged on the trophies they win or do not win, not build it because they're competing. You're in the title race. So once you're in the title race, it's how did you navigate that and win? And if you don't win, how far? Again, if you finish on 95 points, 1 point off City, I think most owners would say No,
Yeah.
you stay another year. You finish 15, 20 points away this season after investing, by the way, the biggest transfer summer in the history of Arsenal. Then you have to look at it and say, well, we don't need a rebuild again. There isn't phase one of the new rebuild. It's just the new manager comes in. The new manager comes in with a few new players and a few leave like normal, and you go again to try and win. So
we funerals tell.
I agree with Kevin Campbell and I agree with Tom Canton that you just keep going. But you don't need to keep going with all the same players and the same manager
and the same process. Exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
Because the process remains. The manager is just a cog in that wheel. He shouldn't be the overarching.
It's Arteta FC, yeah. It's Arsenal FC.
The Wengers and the Fergies are got Fergusons are gone. They used to be the coach, the sporting director, there's everything. They used to run the club. They actually manage the entire football club. That doesn't happen anymore. They're essentially head coaches. So the process can continue without Arteta, and I think it is what it is. Yeah, and let's listen. And everyone knows. I think Arsenal are a very good team. I think you're in this title race. I think you've got a chance of winning. But when I see decisions like if it's true what Samuel McBell said that you're turning down Benzema for a defender.
If we got Benzema, would we be scary, Terry? Would we be scary if we had got Benzema?
Hey, listen.
Would they scare you? Arsenal scare you?
Listen. As much as both of your teams scare me of how bad we've been, but listen, we're on our way back. We're going to be scary soon. Honestly, I'm a Man United fan. Most things scare me right now. It's unbelievable. It's true. But yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting one. In terms of Liverpool in this title race, boys, how far are they away from becoming title favourites? Considering they're winning, they've lost one game all season. They're top of the league by 5 points, and they're even winning without Mo Salah and Trent. How long until they're made favourites to win the league? Because I know a lot of Liverpool fans like to do this. Oh, we're underdogs. You've got one of the best managers in the world, a winning team, some of the best players in the world. I don't like calling them underdogs because that makes them sound like they're Burnley. But how long until they could be considered favourites, gents?
I think they need to get favourites, maybe 9 points. Obviously, it depends on what part of the season we're in. Obviously, if we get down to like match day 34, something like that, then obviously not. But like, I think like 9. If they can get 9 points ahead, I still think most people will just out of the respect of City, chasing teams down in the past, will still have City favourites up until around 8 points. If they get up to about 9, I think then you start. Yeah, you start looking at Liverpool there. But listen, Liverpool are a great side. Dan will say when he asked me at the start of the season who I think is going to be our main challengers, I said Liverpool. I think that Liverpool shouldn't have finished where they did last year. That was just a freak show. The team that they have on the pitch, was you're not telling me that wasn't capable of getting top 4. They just had a bad year. It happens. You know what I mean? It happens to teams, and they were always going to bounce back. They made some shrewd signings. Yeah, I think the midfield has done a little bit better than probably people expected. It's no real surprise to me that where they are. I expected them to be our main title rivals. I had them above Arsenal, So I think these next 2 games for Liverpool are huge. If they win the next 2 games, for me, that eliminates Arsenal from the title race. And I really think then people will look at Liverpool and go,
you know what? Them, don't they?
Yeah, they play. I think Arsenal have got to win that game. I think Arsenal have to win that football match. So yeah, I think if Liverpool win the next 2 against Chelsea at home and then Arsenal away, I think. Not that people shouldn't be doing this anyway, but I think if there is anyone out there in the chat going, still don't see him as proper title rivals or whatever, if they win the next 2, then surely that opinion changes. So, yeah, I mean, I think Arsenal have to win that game at the Emirates. I think it's a must win. If you don't win that game, you're out of the race for me.